Showtime, my friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shogun Zorra and thank you for tuning in. And yeah, as you can see in the title, it's about My Hero Academia. My Hero Academia officially ended on Sunday, and it's sort of an end-to-end anime era, a little bit. But yeah, I can't believe that My Hero Academia is now over. I've been following My Hero Academia for roughly now 8 years, and now starting seeing it's over is kind of crazy. It's kind of surreal to me. And also, yes, in this video I will talk about a little bit my journey with My Hero Academia, my thoughts, and also I will talk about the final chapters or the final few chapters of the My Hero Academia manga. So please watch this video with caution. You have been warned, and yeah, this video of course contains spoilers. So let's go. Of course, I want to talk about how I got into My Hero Academia. The thing is, I remember before the anime came out, I had some friends tell me like I need to watch My Hero Academia. But at that time, I don't know, I was not interested in My Hero Academia and anything, because I remember also a lot of people would compare it to One Punch Man, sort of in the area, because probably it's similar because it has like hero theme and talks about superheroes, right? Sort of My Hero Academia, a lot of people would talk about it as almost like the second One Punch Man sort of in this series in terms of things. And I was not really interested, and then one day when I had work experience, right, and I was working with computer in a company, and they had like lunch break and stuff, and friends convinced me I need to watch My Hero Academia. And then at my lunch break I was watching My Hero Academia, and my goodness, I was blown away. I fell in love with My Hero Academia. I think I started watching it shortly after the first season ended in 2015, and I was in love with the series. It was considered one of my favorite anime of all time at that point, top 10 I would say, because I was so hooked of Deku and his journey to become a hero. At that point, Deku was just trying out his quirk and learning about it, and his road to become a hero, and the music and everything was so beautiful. The animation was also so good, and I fell in love with the series. And especially with also the fight with All Might vs. Nep, the first Nep that we saw. Crazy good fight, and I was fully loving this fight. It was amazing. And yeah, at the time I was a big fan. Then later I started when the second season came out. From there on I started watching it. I still continue watching the animes when the second season came out. I was feeling in love, especially remember the first episode, season 2, where Deku it was like a tournament arc, and I was really loving it, and how Deku was doing everything, not using his quirk. I wanted more of My Hero Academia. Then I started reading the manga, and because my friend forced me to read the manga, unfortunately, and surprisingly the same friend doesn't read the manga anymore, has stopped reading the manga, so that's pretty annoying. And yes, I fell in love. I read the manga. I was so happy about it because My Hero Academia art is great good, and the story I was really hooked with it. And yeah, that's how I got into My Hero Academia. I fell in love with the series, I loved the characters. My Hero Academia was like something else. It was a big hit, and everybody started liking it. Everybody was watching it, so I started watching. That's the reason how I got into My Hero Academia. It was for my friends recommending me this series, and it was at the time also my top 10. Nowadays I don't really have top 10s anymore, but it was still very hype up back in the days. And yeah, I want to talk overall what I think of My Hero Academia. My Hero Academia is a really good story. It has a really good story. It's a good series, and I really love what Kohei Hirokoshi has done with My Hero Academia, especially with the art style. The art, I think everybody can appreciate that My Hero Academia has great art, especially with how the mangaka create a mixture of sort of comic-ish, and also with the manga aesthetic both together. Like it's a manga but with comic aesthetic, with how the manga use sound effects, especially he used English sound effects compared to in normal manga we see Japanese sound effects, how he uses it, and how he illustrates a few things like really similar to a comic, and that's really unique to Hirokoshi. And I also like his art is phenomenal. I cannot say anything else. The story is good, and has also great characters and good characters. But the thing is with My Hero Academia, the moment I started reading the manga, like after middle of season 4 and after season 4, I stopped watching the anime. I don't know why. Sometimes it happens to me when I watch the when I read the manga. I stop reading the when I start reading the manga, I stop reading and watching the anime. I don't know why, but yeah, but still I loved My Hero Academia. I would also watch the movies in cinema. When I had the opportunity, I would go to my local cinema and watch it. I think also I made a review about the second movie. Second movie was phenomenal. I still love it to this day. It's a phenomenal My Hero Academia movie. If you haven't watched it, please do yourself a favor and watch it. And yeah, but I don't know. As I was only continuing on with the manga itself, I felt like I didn't really watch the anime that much. There's sometimes I would watch a few episodes, but I would hear people would say the quality dropped. I've seen some anime, the animation was not as, I would say, as good and consistent compared to the first 2 seasons of My Hero Academia, I would say. But while watching the series and reading the manga, I feel like, I wouldn't say quality drop, but I don't know how to explain it. I won't say I liked less, but over the time, I didn't have as high anymore. But I don't know, I won't say it's better or anything, but the thing is with My Hero Academia, what I really also appreciate about, because it became so popular, I would say My Hero Academia is it's a mainstream anime. It's one of the anime that's come really mainstream, that's not over 20 years old or 15 years old like Bleach, Dragon Ball, Naruto or other series. It's not also the main whole anime, even though right now the popularity is not as high as example like other series like JJK, best example, which is very, very popular right now. But because I would say the popularity is more popular right now, but it's not as mainstream about My Hero Academia. It's not even close. You can still see a lot of, if you're looking for anime merchandise around particular shop, you see more of My Hero Academia, or even in like stores that have like a little bit of anime, you can bet to yourself you see My Hero Academia there, and it's really good to see that we have as My Hero Academia, a series that I enjoy. I have even the first bond, not right now with me, but I have even the first bond of My Hero Academia because I love the series. Let's talk about the ending of My Hero Academia. While a lot of people have different opinions about it, I want to talk a bit about my opinion, then we go through different stuff. One thing I love that in the final fight of My Hero Academia, meaning Deku and versus Shigaraki in All For One, I loved it that the fight itself is freaking amazing, but one thing I love is that Deku didn't single-handedly defeated Shigaraki in All For One. I mean, of course, Deku wasn't the first one who fought in the final saga against Shigaraki. We have, of course, Bakugo, Best Genius, and Mirio and other people fighting him first, but then later he fought against Deku. But what I love is he didn't defeat him single-handedly by himself. I love that they brought all the Deku's classmates, most of the classmates and other people and fight him. Then Deku had the finishing blow, but everybody had him to get there and stop Shigaraki from an All For One from coming even closer. And I really loved it. Of course, it's kind of crazy Deku alone beating Shigaraki, the main villain, but it feels like a sense like what My Hero Academia tried to show, that you cannot do everything by your own, but you need to also rely on other people. And I think that's a good thing. One particular thing is the whole thing I've seen on social media, people talking about Deku's losing One For All, but I don't think that is that bad that he lost his One For All and losing his quirk, because if you think about it, All For One only One For All only exists thanks to All For One. So if All For One suddenly disappears, then I wouldn't be surprised that One For All also then suddenly disappears, because they are sort of also linked with each other. I mean, seeing Deku that he's not that distraught and not that sad about the One For One, it shows like he's not relying. It shows sort of like the quirk didn't make Deku. Deku made the quirk the quirk himself, sort of. Because of course he had multiple quirks, but how he utilized one for all was really unique to him. So I feel like it's a good thing. So it's like Deku that he is such a great character. And also one thing I want to mention, because also in the final fight we see All For One was the one who planned everything about Shigaraki, and that is just messed up, because he planned everything. He gave him this quirk. He's the one who like put more trauma on his father. He is the one who put all this distraught, distress, and sort of on Shigaraki, and that is mad. This is legit crazy, and that is just insane if you think about it. Like, he almost had planned everything with Shigaraki. Oh, of course, he didn't plan the whole story, but what he planned with Shigaraki is insane. One thing I also really loved is what happened. Baku found out that Deku lost his quirk, like lost on for, or it's like a slimmer of Ember left. Like, his reaction, he was genuinely sad for Deku, because we see, in the final arc we see sort of Baku accepted, also especially in the Vigilante, that he sort of didn't really accept Deku so much, but as in the moment where Deku became the Vigilante, he sort of apologized and then was honest with himself about Deku. And now seeing him, Baku, being upset, crying legit that Deku lost his quirk, because he understood his position, felt like, yeah, Deku is sort of the greatest, better than him, he's greater than me, but he also thought like, while Deku is going up, he has also to catch up, so they are sort of even rivalry, they have also like a good healthy rivalry, and as Deku, he still accepted that Deku will always be higher than him, but he doesn't saw himself as less. He also thought himself, thanks to him, I can be much better. Not like in toxic, but in a healthy way. And seeing him, and also he really accepted Deku as a character, as his own person. Seeing him that he got upset about Deku losing his quirk, because he thought like, he is the only one who I can be on par with, the only person who I can be bigger and grow bigger as a person also. Seeing him crying shows how much he has grown, how much Baku has grown. Baku has its moment, especially even also in the final moments where, even in his final moments, like with the final fight, he was taking almost dead. He flew all the way and protected Deku for Deku doing the final punch. Bakugo, high praise for him because he was freaking phenomenal. One thing that was really upsetting that's also been highlighted is the Uraka, because he was kind of upset throughout, didn't seem that genuinely happy. And yes, it makes sense because the situation what happened with Toga. Toga unfortunately passed away, but the camera people were not able to capture it, and that makes really sense that she is sad, because the whole thing about with Uraka was also, while Toga was a villain, she tried also to save her, and because Uraka was almost bleeding out, thanks to Toga's quirk, she was able to give her blood so she survived, but unfortunately no one was able to capture it because the camera unfortunately died, meaning everybody will remember Toga Himiko as a bad villain, as a horrible villain, even though what she did is horrible, but thanks to the camera being dead, shows like she's not really like redemption, but a little bit of kindness or understanding of her character and of the people of My Hero Academia. That was kind of find really unfortunate. And one thing that makes sense, because also Uraka was really upset because Toga had potentially being a good person, especially with her quirk, how she can utilize her quirk in different ways, example with blood transfusion, and it really makes sense that Uraka was sad, like, if she would have met Toga Himiko earlier, if she would have found out about her earlier, if they would have met as a children, they could have been good friends, and then she wouldn't have turned out the way she did. And it's the same thing as also with Shigaraki. If Deku also had Deku also thought about it. If Deku would have met Shigaraki when he was younger, or when he was a child, they could have been best friends, and then many things could have been avoided. And that's, I really love that they showcases, because also this also brings to Uraraka's character as an adult, because he's now going throughout Japan to elementary school and seeing children, because children, when they discover their quirk at first, they don't know how to utilize it, how to control it. Example, Darby's best situation is because Darby was not able to understand or truly fully grasp his quirk, because he's almost hurting himself. I feel like she is going around with Froppy and other characters, trying to look for other elementary school students and help them out. And also she also has like a quirk cancellation thing, and it makes sense that it's a good thing. This shows like potential growth in the My Hero Academia world, because now that Uraka has that, it will help out a lot of people who maybe don't know how to use a quirk, or a quirk that can be a hindrance to them or a danger to them, if they would go to the quirk cancellation that they have them people had in their understanding, and that would be really good for characters like, for example, Dabi, Shigaraki, and Toga. These were the kind of characters who would have benefited the most, especially if they had that kind of opportunity help from the past. I really love that Uraraka took the initiative and is doing her stuff. Also, one thing I really loved also, especially when Deku fought against Shigaraki and All for One. I love that we saw the characters, movie characters being referenced in the series. Very small, very shortly, but really cool thing to see. And yes, the thing is with Deku, what I think about Deku becoming teacher, it makes sense. I don't have a problem with it at all, because this helps out the next generation of people who want to attend AUA and want to be a hero. Of course, Deku, because it makes it, Deku has Deku understanding of quirk, how people utilize it, how people can definitely utilize it. It makes sense that Deku would go a field where he can help people out with that, because he can help people within the young generation how to utilize that quirk, how they can expand their quirk and bring it to the full potential. And especially, example, when we saw the kid who could create blades. The moment Deku saw him, Deku fully analyzed it directly what he can do. And I feel like there's so much potential he could do. Potentially, the kid with the plate, can he do different plates? Can he do potentially a mirror plate? Can he do like shattered glasses, like shattered plates, and then throw it at the enemy? This is a different thing he can do, and that's one thing I could see Deku doing for the children there. And that's a good thing that Deku is helping out. I feel like Deku could potentially, why Deku would be not necessarily a hero, but Deku could still work in a hero's field, especially like as a analysis data or something with quirk, or as a detective sort of in the area, because Deku is also very smart and it would make sense working there. And of course, one thing I really love that made me really happy is when Deku at the end of the series got a suit, like the same suit like All Might had when he fought All for One, and then of course all the suit is based off all the quirks that Deku previously had, and Deku can be a hero again, and that's really amazing. And I would touch upon a bit later also more, but I've seen people saying that they didn't help Deku at all and everything, but it's clearly wrong, because 8 years has passed, meaning technology has advanced, meaning technology is much better than compared to when All Might had his suit, and also All Might's suit was just a prototype, and Deku's suit seems like a legit, fully completed version. And now with technology being advanced, also people helped him out. Class 1A, Deku's class funded everything. What I loved is that Bakugo spent the most money on it, and that Deku can finally be a hero again. And that's what I really love, and seeing Deku being a hero again. Also, there's like a reference of Deku and All Might, with All Might said, "You have earned your powers," and this is beautiful thing to see again. Deku finally be a hero again, and probably Deku has his suit looks like his original suit that he had in his teenage years, with probably has all his quirks that he had at the same time. And yeah, that is the end of My Hero Academia. When I read this, I was not upset, but I was like emotional, because I see that I followed for 8 years. Suddenly, ending is kind of surreal. Of course, we have multiple series that have ended, well-known series that have ended. But My Hero Academia, I see that I've watched for so long, and suddenly after 8 years, almost like a decade, I've been following My Hero Academia for a decade, and then suddenly ending made me a bit emotional. It's kind of crazy. And there's also a lot of other series nowadays in Shonen Jump that we know are slowly ending, and that's kind of crazy. But overall, I would say My Hero Academia overall is a good series. I would give the series overall as 7 out of 10. I would say also the ending itself is a good ending. I don't think it's bad at all. I don't think it's the greatest ending ever. I don't think also that is the ending. I don't think the ending is groundbreaking, but I also don't think the ending is bad at all. I'm just saying that the ending was really good, and just can't believe that it's kind of crazy that My Hero Academia ended. Now I want to talk about not issue I have, but one thing I would think if they would compliment if they had in My Hero Academia, it would have been much better. in my opinion, I've said I think on TikTok once before, I wish personally if My Hero Academia would have story would have spanned from Deku first year to third year, so the final arc would have happened in third year, because I feel like a series that is almost a manga series that's almost 10 years was run 10 years. I feel like if the series would have had Deku progress through a whole high school year, it would have made Deku also older and add a bit more natural maturity. Because it's kind of crazy if you think about it. Most of my, like 95% of My Hero Academia takes place in 1 year. Okay, take 1.5 years, because Deku starts in middle school, then goes high school, and in the end of this series, Deku is in second year. And I feel like if this would have been better if Deku had it would have been progressed through his high school years, because it's kind of crazy that Deku fights the strongest villain in this in the history of My Hero Academia in 1 year of having a quirk, and that's kind of ridiculous. I feel like if Deku had at least 3 years to the high school and learned throughout the series, slowly adding more quirks, I feel like it would have benefited him a lot. Also, it would have also added, I feel like, a lot of natural maturity for other characters. I feel like it would have also added a lot of natural maturity for other characters, example, the side characters, because there are a lot of quirks that have really high potential. I feel like as they would get older, the quirks would of course naturally be better, and as they also train in the UA with other heroes, I feel like it could have shown way more potential of the characters with that quirk that would show these characters being in the school for 3 years. And also, it's kind of crazy that at the end of the series we see the new first years, and we haven't really seen any second years. We only saw third years, but we didn't see any second years. And now that I feel like if Deku would have still progressed through his through his high school years, we would have seen early on Deku having co-highs, seeing juniors, and I feel like it would have been a good way for Deku also slowly teaching the characters the second years and the new first years how to become a hero, understanding their quirks. I feel like it would have been a very good thing. Also, that would have also slowly a little bit hinted that Deku would have become potentially a teacher. But yeah, that's the only thing I would say with My Hero. Besides that, I don't have any issue, anything I would say has any problem with that. Now I want to talk about the problems I've seen other people have with My Hero Academia, and I want to slowly address to it. I feel like a lot of people don't like the ending of My Hero. I've seen a lot of people don't like the ending, and because of situation like Deku didn't become the greatest hero of all time. While I can understand where they're coming from, because in the series, if you watch the anime, it sort of hinted at us that Deku will become the greatest hero of all time, similar to All Might. Similar to All Might, because All Might is symbol of peace, with this statue. And I feel like a lot of people were thinking Deku would be in this kind of situation, and yeah, we'll be undisputed #1. While I can understand where they come from, I don't think it's bad what the show did and what the manga did, because even the manga is not as big highlighted. That we can see that these characters also got a statue, a statue also of all the characters of UA, meaning they were standing. And I feel like because Deku didn't defeat the one for all Shigaraki everything by himself, that's why he does. It's a good thing that all the characters helped him. That's why all the characters are considered the greatest hero, because they defeated the strongest character by strongest villain ever, not Deku all alone. And I feel like it's a highlight of everything, that it's not you alone. It would be crazy if only Deku would be considered the greatest hero. While I mean, of course, other characters would be considered heroes, but I feel like in this kind of event where everybody chipped in, everybody sort of like a good hero, everybody sort of the greatest hero, everybody participated. While, example, not everybody was fighting Shigaraki level enemies, but everybody was helping out, rescuing people and defending people and fighting villains. I feel like I'm happy with it that they did the greatest hero. Also, the other issue I've seen people don't like him is Deku and Uraraka didn't become officially a couple in My Hero Academia. Yeah, the thing is, I can understand, because in My Hero Academia we see Deku and Uraraka have feelings for each other, but they didn't really express to each other they like each other. I mean, there's only the female characters in Uraraka's class sort of figured out that Uraraka has a crush of Deku, and some of them figured out that potentially Deku has a crush on them. But it's kind of weird that throughout this series, they seem to have been with each other, but they didn't come together. So it's not been officially stated. Probably I can think of myself they are together, but it hasn't been truly displayed because everybody's doing their different things. I think those are the main two each I've seen. But yeah, this is what I want to address from my point of view. And yes, now I want to talk about the problem with the fan base. The thing is, or not the fan base itself, all the people who are talking about the ending about My Hero Academia. And it truly shows that people lack reading comprehension, or they believe or believe everything they see on social media and then think it's like it truly like that. Wrong. Please, every time if you read something, please educate yourself and watch and do some research and look for yourself, because I've seen stuff like this where people say Uraraka goes to Deku for 8 years because he's quirkless. No, that's completely wrong. I've seen similar things like this, and it's wrong. It's truly wrong. It really shows that people have lack reading comprehension, because it never said they go to him. The only thing that closest they said is what Deku said in the manga is, ever since we all started working, our time off never seems to line up. It's hard to plan a get together. This is from the official release, so even though there's like a fan translation, also please read the official release because it can be a bit different. And that Uraraka never goes to Deku for two ideas, and it makes sense. This is one of the most realistic things ever. After you become older, after you're an adult, everybody has different responsibilities and have different work, and also everybody moves across the country. So it makes sense that everybody can always come together, because everybody has different responsibilities all the time. And so, like Deku said, they cannot line up that everybody, the 16 people in their class, come together and meet each other. And it makes sense because everybody's are heroes and doing different things, and they're adults. So, and it's been 8 years, meaning 8 years. They're still also 8 years, meaning there's this time include also when they were still in high school. So it's less, and that's so stupid. It really shows like it really shows that people cannot really read well. Also, with the Deku being quirkless, I've seen people also saying that Deku classmates didn't care that Deku was quirkless. It's never been said. I don't know where this comes from. They all care that they all were upset, especially in the second before the final chapter. They also were shocked when they realized that Deku is slowly losing his quirk. That's why they all put money into the all the money into the suit for Deku, so Deku can have his suit and start becoming a hero again. And I've seen people saying, why didn't they do it earlier? The thing is, well, All My Head was a prototype and also expensive. The thing is, they wanted the moment where they have a perfect suit for Deku, where everything is fine, it's not too bulky. That's why they have it. It took potentially 8 years for all of them coming together and have the perfect suits for him. Also, and it's 8 years in the future, so meaning 8 years where the technology has been improved and everything, and it's not as limited with All My prototype suit what he had. Also, I've seen, of course, the memes around. Also, I've seen, of course, all the memes about Deku being quirkless now. Of course, some of them are very funny, and I can understand because it's just a joyous meme. But some people take it way too seriously and then believe everything they're saying that Deku is a powerful worker because he's a quirkless. And that is a bit too much. Peace, people, that's just a meme. Just get over yourself, just for fun, please. And one last thing I want to mention. One thing we're not doing, especially we're not doing right now, is sending death threats to to the creator of My Hero Academia, Koei Hitokoshi. It's all fine if you don't. It's fine if you don't like the ending of My Hero Academia. It's perfectly valid. Everybody has different opinion, but sending death threats to the creator of My Hero Academia, that is one of the worst things you can do. That's one of the lowest. I don't have the words for it. It's just sad. Because saying also like he ruined your life. How can you say he ruined your life? It's just a series. People don't. Of course, you can be passionate about a series very much, where you get invested, like a series, buy the merchandise, always trying to read a new manga, a new anime, it's fine. But then saying it ruined your life, how can it ruin your life? It's not like your life was depending on My Hero Academia. It's just a show for your enjoyment. And if you don't like the ending, it's fine, you can be upset about it. That is perfectly fine. But sending death threats to a person because you just didn't like the ending, that shows like you have potentially mentally problems, because this is not right. Yeah, that's basically what I want to say, because the thing is also, it's not, I don't want to just say this just My Hero Academia fans. Unfortunately, in each community, each fandom, in which society, we have weirdos, people who are weird online or in real life, because that's how it is, unfortunately. Of course, there are some series, unfortunately, we see it more, in some series we see it less, but you will always find people saying that this weird and this fandom is weird. Even you could see only good stuff, right? And then when one person does something weird, then everybody would say this fandom is weird. That's unfortunate, but it's not the case. Please, not every fandom is weird. Every fandom has weird people, but doesn't make it the show's fault. Yeah, but again, I want to say thank you very much, Hirudegarn, for creating My Hero Academia. Thank you for creating a series that I've been following for 8 years plus now, and a series that I was invested all the time. A series that I was really happy reading it, watching it, where I was happy investing my time in. This is the only thing I can say. I love My Hero Academia, and I would be very excited to see potentially more of Hirudegarn. But first, I want him to rest well, enjoy your time off for Hirudegarn, enjoy yourself, rest well, and relax a little bit. And then, but I'll be still following you on social media, and be excited if you continue your work. That's it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please write down in the comment section below and what you think about the My Hero Academia ending and overall My Hero Academia. And if you want any other video I suggest, please write down in the comment section below. My name is Shogun Zorra. Let your light shine bright, and peace.